If you want to know about your rights, you have them from day one. If you want to find out which of your rights you gave up to create your state and local government so that they could then protect you, you go to your state constitution. All right. So when we talk about something like Second Amendment rights, I will not give up my gun, I have Second Amendment rights. I kind of chuckle a little bit because no, the Second Amendment doesn't give we the people anything. What it does is tell the federal government, you're not allowed to touch the whole gun thing. Nada. You can't touch it. The states are allowed to have their guns. Federal government, you cannot tell the state, and thereby the people, they can't have their guns. You're not allowed to even talk about this thing. Can't touch it. First Amendment. What's the very first thing they talk about in the very First Amendment? It's religion. Why? Because they were all religious people to varying degrees and whatnot, but they were all religious kind of people. So what came first, right? Is it any wonder that the first of the 10th Amendment, the First Amendment, the very first phrase in it talks about religion? And it's really, it doesn't guarantee me anything. What it does is guarantee that the U.S. Congress, the President, the Supreme Court, not going to have a word to say about religion. Nada. Can't tell me nothing. Can't make nothing, ain't be nothing, ain't done nothing. Can't touch it. That's what it is. So I don't have Second Amendment rights, really. We understand what it means when we refer to it, but it's really not a true statement. I have Second Amendment rights. No, you don't. You don't have Second Amendment rights. Second Amendment is a restriction on the federal government. What you do have...
Not on your states.
What you do have is the right to keep and bear arms. Yeah, you got that. You got to go to your state constitution. Is that something that you, the people of that state, gave up? If you go to New Jersey, it is. If you go to Massachusetts, it is. If you go to Texas, you guys are allowed to carry. And you do.
Yep.
So there you go. The people in New York, the people in Massachusetts, they decided that for them, they didn't want it. That's fine. That's okay for them. Don't force it on me. That's them. And if people in Massachusetts said, you know what, I don't like this, that's okay. You don't have to stay. You can go to Texas. All right? Not a problem. Or you can stay and try and make a case to turn it around the other way. It depends. It's all up to you. You have the right to make that choice. You have the freedom. You have the responsibility to choose where you're going to live, to decide where you're going to raise your family, the way you're going to raise them. And if part of that is exercising, to keep and bear arms, well, either stay and make a fight of it, or move to a state that allows you to do that and fight to keep it there. Simple as that. So you have to go to your state constitutions. That's really your most important document. That's what I call the people's contract. That's the we the people, is your state constitution. And anything that happens within the state, the federal government's not allowed to touch, because that's 10th Amendment reserved. That's reserved. The federal government was designed to take care of things that were common to a number of the states or all of the states, things that any particular state could not do on its own. It was almost like going to mediation. If you're going through a divorce and you got person one and person two, and they're squabbling and they're going back and forth about, who's getting the sofa and who's getting the oil painting and the blender, they go to a mediator to solve the problem. Why? Because they can't do it themselves. The mediator, that's the general government. That's what they're there for. They're there as an agent for the states to do what the states need them to do. And it's gotten so completely out of control. What do we call the president? We call him the leader of the free world. What? No, he's not. No, he's not. He's not the leader of the free world. He's an agent for the states. The leader of the free world, I think the United States, the states united as one, I think that's the beacon of hope for the world, not the president.